In 2004, I came up to New York City, went into Penn Station. The man in front of me started complaining about the reception on his cell phone. We're 80 feet underground. He's bashing on his little device, and I'm thinking, you know, what we've forgotten, what you're forgetting, mister, is that this is a beautiful miracle. You're talking to somebody very far away with this little transmitter and this little receiver in this device, and we're forgetting that all around us, this electromagnetic radiation is carrying messages, and it's kind of an amazing thing. So I started a book. I wanted to try to capture the magic of hearing the voice of a stranger in a little device in your home, because for the history of humanity, that was a strange thing. I started with a boy trapped somewhere and a girl reading a story to him over a radio. Then about a year later, I was traveling in France on book tour. I went to the town of Saint-Malo, which is on the northern coast of France in Brittany. I was walking around this beautiful seaside town, a walled fortress, the beautiful channel, the green waters of the channel breaking against the walls, and I told my editor, look how old this is, this medieval town, it's so pretty. He said, actually, this town was almost entirely destroyed in 1944 by your country, by American bombs. So I started researching a lot about the city of Saint-Malo. Immediately I knew that was the setting. That's where the boy would be trapped listening to the radio. Third piece of the narrative came about a year later when I started reading about what had happened in Paris in the invasion in 1940 when the Germans came in. The Germans came in, of course, they took over all the radio, but they also, with so many cultural treasures and natural science treasures in Paris, they had to be protected, and they had very short notice before the invasion. So they started packing up Rembrandts, they packed up Da Vinci's from the Louvre. At the Natural History Museum, there were all kinds of incredible treasures. There's incalculable gold, diamonds, sapphires, all kinds of lapis lazuli, of course, so many paleontological treasures, botanical treasures. All these things had to be kept locked or moved out of the city before the invasion. I thought, there it is. I'm going to try to somehow write a novel that encompasses radio, the invasion of Paris, and this boy trapped in the city of Saint-Malo. I moved primarily back and forth between two characters, a character named Marie-Laure, who lives in Paris. Her father is the locksmith at the Natural History Museum in charge of an enormous amount of locks. As the Germans come in, he's in charge of getting out of the city with something that may or may not be an extremely valuable diamond. The other narrative, the main narrative that braids with Marie's, is a German boy named Werner. He's an orphan, and he is very gifted with electronics. He falls in love with radios as a young boy. He finds his own way out by fixing a radio for a very important official. He thinks it's going to be a way out of the mines, but it turns out to be a very complicated way out. He ends up at a paramilitary school for Hitler Youth. For me, I wanted to have a book that reminds us of the magic of radio. So I wanted, first and foremost, to conjure this time when the voice of a stranger, particularly if it's a propagandist, somebody hammering this nationalism into the heads of poor people like was happening in Germany leading up to the war in the late 30s. That kind of power, especially over a child's mind, I wanted to try to capture in the novel.